going to want to make sure that you have in place the things that are help your students find what they need to find and do what they need to do. These are things too that are good for face-to-face courses. They're good for online courses. They're kind of the basic things, kind of what Dean White mentioned, where you want to have some of these basics to make sure that your course is accessible to students. And these are the things that we recommend: intuitive navigation, making your basic course information easy to find, a bit of yourself, animal puns, if that's your thing, clear communication about when people are going to get feedback, and clear grades. As Julia mentioned, that sort of you want to know how you're doing, so that should be in there. And accessibility, which I think Mary mentioned that. And accessibility is, they're working on this in Canvas, and it's cool, but there's also this lovely accessibility site that has 6 core accessibility skills. If you go to this site, you can see what they are. They're easy to do. They're very easy. In fact, you're probably already doing most of them, so it'll make you feel good. Just go over and look at it. So this is the template that we are creating in CFANS to demonstrate some of these things and for you guys to use. So if you want a head start in navigating the new structure that Canvas is offering, this is a front page. You don't get this by default. You have to make one if you want a front page, and we're recommending that you have a home page like this. Not just like this, but you can use this and put your stuff in it. Some of the things that I wanted to point out is you can see how there isn't a long line here of things that you can click on down this navigation bar. I've turned a whole bunch of them off, so the students can only see the things that I want them to go into. And that, if there's anything that you take away from this talk, it's turn off everything that you don't want them to look at. And because there are just too many, Canvas offers too many opportunities, too many ways to go in, and they'll get lost. To pull things into, to make sure that the information is accessible, we have a link to, oops, didn't mean to do that, a link to the syllabus, oh, you can't see that, the syllabus, a link to information about your instructor, and a place to ask a question about the course. There's meeting time and location, and a paragraph, and course objectives, and then a start here. A start here is great if you want your students to do some things before they come to class the first time, for example. Or if you're in an online course, you really need a place for them to start. There's also one thing that Canvas does beautifully well. Here's the module. It's the example of the start of the course. Is the calendar. Canvas will tell your students when they have to do stuff if you put a due date on it. So anything that you want them to have a due date for will show up on their calendar like this. They can go to the side over there and turn off the courses they're not looking at and turn on the ones they are, and you can do the same for yours. When you click on something, you get a link right to that assignment. They won't get to delete or edit it, but you will. But they will get a link to the assignment. They can go in there and do it. You can move an assignment. Just click on it and drag it, and it will move inside your course. It links up to what's in your course. So that's very convenient. This is one of my favorite things about Canvas is how easy it is to adjust your due dates. So if you move your stuff into your course, you see that a couple of due dates aren't right, you just move them, and they're done. That's all you have to do. Here's a example instructor page that you can put in here, and there's some communications information so they know when you'll get back to them. But one thing I wanted to mention is that you would have your students turn on notifications for that. They can add their cell phone, so they'll get texts of due dates and things like that. So basically, I wanted to highlight, and you've seen this from Mary, this the speed grader. But what I really wanted to say is that it's easier to have a place where you can point to announcements, where you can say, this is the home place, you're responsible for what's on this page. And I hope that you'll find this useful. And I'll put a link in the showcase page, so in case you want to use this template, you'll be able to see, you have instructions and a link to it.